In every human endeavor, Americans see an unfinished competition. What is strong can be made stronger. What is fast can be made faster. What is great can be made greater than ever before, and that's what's happening with America.
Mr. Perry, as we've heard so many, statements from President Trump today, has anything in particular stand out for you, and what did you make of these celebrations? Just the beginning, although.
Trump's words are a classic Trump, very hubristic, very self-centered, focused on what's biggest and fastest, and always discussing competition and emerging on top. But you heard nothing of the values upon which America was established. America was established as a grand experiment to carry out the ideals of the Enlightenment, the social contract, liberalism, the rights of people, decency. And of course, you end up with this grand paradox. America really has become the most successful national experiment in the history of human civilization. It really does have the biggest economy, the most powerful army, incredibly successful business and innovation and academia. All that is true. But unfortunately, if you look at studies about where American public opinion and social sentiment lies today, you see that huge numbers of Americans no longer feel proud. More than a third believe America may not survive for another 250 years as a single country. There's been a massive rollback in Americans' contentment, largely during the 10 years or so that Mr. Trump has been on the scene. Because for all his grand words today, Trump has presided over the greatest diminishment of American ambition to be a force for good in the world that we've ever seen, and consequently, a huge reduction of America's capital around the world. America no longer is anywhere near as admired a country, as desired a country, as it was in 2016. So that is the paradox. America is very successful, just as Trump says, but Americans are not very happy. And Americans, I do believe, stand for more and want to stand for more than this notion of Trump's that everything is about competition and coming out on top and crossing the ocean and climbing the mountain. Those things are important, but America was also exceptional in that it strove to do good. And I believe you heard nothing of that today from Mr. Trump for the simple reason that he does not.
How well does the United States today reflect the democratic ideas envisioned at its founding 250 years ago?
You could look at glass half full or the glass half empty. You can say, despite efforts to undermine its democracy, somehow it survives. I'm not sure it's a beacon for very much right now, but it survives. But the truth is that recent years have exposed very big problems. America is in some ways ungovernable because its very dysfunctional electoral system, mapped onto a highly polarized environment, has made it so that they can't agree on anything. The Constitution is no longer amendable. We couldn't even pass an equal rights amendment because the Republicans were in control of too many states and simply disagreed that women should have equal rights. America can't figure out how to have responsible gun ownership, and basically every maniac can buy a gun. And the Republican Party opposes even basic background checks. So you have the highest incidence of gun deaths in the world, in the developed world, by far. America is the only country that doesn't guarantee its citizens a baseline of healthcare in the developed world. America currently is run by an administration that promotes vaccine skepticism so that all these fools around the country think it's a bad idea to make sure their kids don't have polio. America is probably the global capital of denial of climate change and global warming. I mean, there are some massive problems, and America currently is engaged in a dismantling of the liberal global economic order that America itself had led and largely built after World War II, that spread so much prosperity around the world. Trump has walked out of the World Health Organization. He's undermining any notion of fair global trade. He is imposing tariffs on various countries, which Americans pay at whim. America currently has taken a massive step back from the ideals that used to drive it, and which were a bipartisan consensus. I mean, really, Trump's slogan should be "Make America Small Again" for all these big words. So that is where we are, and I'm not seeing a lot of ideals, democratic ideals, being promoted. If anything, Trump has discovered that he can engage in the most vulgar, crass, and transparent corruption. And it'll take the courts, a year or more to catch up with him. And by that time, he moves on to the next project. This is a man who just basically admitted he profited, but to the tune of between $1 and $2 billion off the presidency.
Is there danger in how President Trump has changed the U.S. in becoming more transactional versus how previous leaders tried to make it more, where it was seen as a country more positive example of values and cooperation?
Yes. I mean, there's a huge danger to America's status as a country that is not purely transactional, by definition. I've been roaming the earth as an American expat for decades now, and I always tell people who are skeptical about the U.S. and think that everything is about interests and domination that, yeah, to a degree that's true. America, like every empire, has indeed acted that way, but America, unlike any other empire, also had the other side. The side that was genuinely driven by universalist and humanist ideals, and at least a desire to, yes, perhaps do the profitable thing, but also have it be the right thing, and have it be a win-win. That was at least once the ideal. And when Trump reduces everything to the most vulgar baseline of transactional competition, that obviously diminishes America's connection to its founding ideals. And I would add, it isn't helped that the U.S., while sometimes lecturing to other countries about, not politicizing the judiciary, for example, has a completely politicized judiciary. The Supreme Court is directly appointed by the president and the parliament, and many judges and even other functions in the justice system are elected. America has always not fully lived up to its ideals, but at this point, it is backtracking. And again, you can look at the glass half full. You can say that you've had such a full-on assault on American ideals by the Trump administration, and look, by 2028, we will have survived and maybe return to a situation where we thrive.
Thank you very much, Mr. Perry, for sharing that insight.